Kush and Chemtrails, the world's most dangerous podcast.
Before are you gonna double down onto your seg? Or?
We can double down on Trudeau. You want to?
I mean, why not? Because
fuck it.
Let's trip, man.
Let's trip.
Get
You want
trippy,
to?
man.
Hey, let's trip on
trip,
this.
Trip.
Nobody should be asked to handle this trip.
That's some heavy shit.
When you were tripping.
All right, guys. So we're gonna double down on this motherfucker. So check it out.
Trip.
Margaret Trudeau and Pierre Trudeau.
Oh, so you already knew the man. That's why when I pulled up this picture, you're like, oh yeah, Pierre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Fidel Castro.
Hey, see, get it. I knew Smooth was gonna dig it out.
Yeah.
I just brought it to their attention.
Were all notoriously sexually promiscuous. Margaret Trudeau was a partier who unquestionably had sex with men while married to Pierre. Nobody knows if Pierre objected. They met when he was 48 and she was 18. They were married when he was 53 and she was 23. Their marriage surprised Canada because Pierre had been a lifelong playboy with no wife or children.
What's up, Playboy?
He'd be turning 60 when she was barely out of her 20s. She publicly states today she suffered from bipolar disorder and self-control issues. She smuggled drugs in the Prime Minister's official government luggage. She sneaked away from official functions to get high. She partied scantily clad at Studio 54. She became embroiled in a scandal for having sex with Ted Kennedy.
Oh, my.
According to Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones, Pierre broke up with her while she was having an affair with Ronnie Wood. And the list goes on.
Ronnie had that wood.
He did indeed.
Man,
He
Ronnie.
still does. That's what Sassy Scorpio said.
Woodpecker.
Damn. So, turns out the Trudeaus adored Castro. Their aides and friends all said so. According to John English's Just Watch Me, The Life of Pierre Elliott Trudeau, 1968 to 2000, they were charmed by Castro and made several trips to embargo-era Cuba just to see him. In 2000, Castro made a rare appearance out of Cuba to attend Pierre's funeral in Canada. He never left Cuba, but he did for Pierre's funeral. On his visit, Margaret welcomed the leader at his hotel on behalf of the Trudeaus. They demonstrated a striking level of familiarity before even getting off the tarmac of their 1976 trip. They all took photographs together. The Trudeaus introduced Castro to their children. And when Castro died, Justin Trudeau was the only leader of the Western world to give him an overwhelmingly positive eulogy without addressing his misdeeds.
And now you know why.
Now, Justin Trudeau was born Christmas Day, 1971. In order for Fidel Castro to be his father, his mother would have to have been somewhere close to Cuba in March or April 1971. She was. In April 1971, the Trudeaus took a long second honeymoon
Kush and Chemtrails exclusive.
all around the Caribbean. According to Wikipedia, they visited one island they declined to disclose. It is the only island they did not disclose, and this is from Wikipedia. In 1971, the Trudeaus took a second honeymoon in the Caribbean to Barbados and an identified nearby island, then Tobago, then to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, excuse me, with Pierre taking a side trip to Trinidad while Margaret stayed in Tobago.
Man, that was a nice trip. Jeez.
Right?
They hit all the islands, huh?
Exactly, except one island that was undisclosed.
I wonder.
So the footnote 19 of the same Wikipedia article cites to an April 13, 1970 article from the Ottawa Journal. The article states the Trudeaus were visiting an unidentified island in the Caribbean and wanted the press to give them privacy. See right there? Trudeau's privacy respected.
Is the Epstein Island in the Caribbean?
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, that's, the north.
Plenty of them.
Yeah, there's all kinds of shit out there.
Yeah.
But the north, we talked about Dominican and shit like that. To be clear, they disclosed, okay, so we already talked about that. They disclosed all other locations. So Justin Trudeau was born 8.5 months later. In 1976, Pierre eagerly became the first NATO leader to travel to Cuba. He brought his wife, Before even leaving the tarmac, both Trudeaus were showing an unusual amount of familiarity with Fidel, considering he was a national leader they just allegedly met. Within hours of their first official meeting, Margaret was photographed intimately touching and holding Fidel Castro with both arms. The Trudeaus announced they had become besties with the dictator and sang his praises during the height of his human rights violations.
Wow.
Due to his age and lack of previous children, rumors began to spread that Pierre was infertile and that Castro and others were the biological fathers of his children. Perhaps that was unfair at the time, but Justin Trudeau and probably grew up to look like this.
Damn it, man. Holy smokes.
And this.
Huh?
And that.
Damn.
And that.
Bruh.
And that. But he don't look shit like that, bro. I don't know. I don't know.
Drop the mic.
So there's Justin Trudeau with Fidel Castro and his mom. There he is again. There's Pierre with Castro.
Castro was the man.
Yeah.
Look at him.
There he is. Look, they just met. Look at. Oh.
That big ass Cuban in his mouth too.
Yeah. She had that big ass Cuban in her mouth too.
Damn, homie, I set you up.
Yeah, you did.
Knock him out.
Bump set spike, baby.
Bump,
Look
shiggity
at.
bump, shiggity bump, go.
Look at. He's like, damn, that is my fucking kid. What the fuck? Yep.
You gotta share these pictures for the people, bro.
Oh yeah, I am indeed.
Oh,
you know those are going up.
gosh.
So there you go, bro.
That's
I mean,
trippy.
here you go, bro. Right here. Say what you want, but that's pretty fucking spot on.
Anybody want to add anything? Look at their
I
faces.
don't know.
Their
Yeah,
faces.
I'm kind of taking it in.
Thank you, man.
I mean, with the fact
I'm
that she
taking-
had all these fucking affairs too. I mean, this is what it says up here. These are facts.
we never done a Who's Your Daddy with a trip on this. We fucked them up, Smooth.
Yeah, with
Give
the
me
someone
some,
like,
man.
hey, with the someone like, hey, really, hey, but trip on this though. Who is your daddy?
Right?
You know what I mean? Who is your daddy, fool?
That was
We're trying to
clutch.
figure this out.
Is the Who's Your Daddy thing that you actually like? That you do this investigative shit
Nah.
for people's dads usually,
Nah.
or this is
Nah,
just a one
man.
time?
It
No,
just
this
worked
is
out
two
like
different
that. It
segments,
just
brother.
worked
This
out
is
like
two
that.
different
Because
segments.
this is kind of
This is
crazy.
Who's Your Daddy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
The first segment was Who's Your Daddy. And the second one is mine. It's called Trip on This. This is the segment we're currently on, and this is what I'm saying. Yo, trip on this.
My segment, traditionally, it just calls out figures that are stirring up a narrative, and people need to look into what's behind
But the
curtain.
universe said, hey, you're doing Trudeau. He's doing Trudeau. So do it like this.
Who's
And
your
it just
daddy?
happened to work like that. He didn't know what I was bringing to the table, and I didn't know what he was.
And
but-
we might have just had our best
So-
one yet.
So, and now the idea of this this is what I'm taking in, is the idea coming together is like the grander idea of this then is that like not only is Trudeau the descendant of Fidel Castro, but that now communist Cuba has now transferred
You're
to
good.
liberal Canada.
This guy's good.
I'm taking this in. I'm like, wow.
Kush and Chemtrails, the world's most dangerous podcast.